What if that hollow, numb feeling isn't depression at all? Here's a twist. The emptiness you fear might be the sacred collapse of who you're not. I've sat in that void and discovered it was a doorway, not a verdict. When everything you leaned on falls away, the mind scrambles for labels. Our culture's default is, I must be depressed. Sometimes that's true, and there's no shame in seeking clinical support. But there's another kind of darkness, a sacred collapse, that looks like depression on the surface, but leads somewhere entirely new. It's not a punishment, it's an initiation. I remember waking up after a series of losses, relationships, work, identity, and feeling like I was floating in space. No ambition, no joy, just void. Friends said, maybe you're depressed. Doctors offered medication, but part of me sensed that if I bypassed this emptiness, I'd miss something vital. The truth is, the void isn't here to be patched over. It's here to be attended to. Psychologists and mystics alike describe the dark night as a descent where old ways of being no longer work. It's not just collapse, it's the birthplace of authenticity. You may feel a loss of joy, a disconnection from identity, even old traumas resurfacing. But within that darkness lies the chance to integrate and awaken. So how do you know whether it's sacred collapse or clinical depression? Sometimes it's both, and professional support is important. The difference isn't about minimizing suffering, it's about recognizing purpose. In sacred collapse, the emptiness carries a strange clarity. You might feel drawn inward, less interested in achievement. The void asks, who am I without my roles? What's emerging beneath the ashes? For trauma survivors, this void often appears after leaving toxic relational systems. The nervous system shifts from constant hypervigilance into stillness. That stillness feels like depression because the adrenaline is gone. Therapy and somatic practices help here. In my own journey, I used inner child work, reassuring the parts of me that feared silence that they weren't being abandoned. Slowly, the emptiness shifted from threat into spaciousness. So try this if you're in the void. Name the season. Write, I am not broken, I'm just in a sacred pause. Naming it interrupts the story that something is wrong. Ground in sensation. Sit with your feet on the floor. Feel the support beneath you. Let the emptiness have a texture. Cool air, heavy cloud, whatever it feels like, breathe without fixing it. Anchor with rhythm. Hum softly or listen to slow drumming. Rhythm regulates the nervous system and reminds you there is movement even in stillness. Reach out wisely. Share with someone who understands spiritual collapse. Sometimes the most healing words are, me too. Non-dual teachers remind us that what dies in the dark night is the story of who we think we are, not our essence. When ego structures crumble, awareness remains. It feels terrifying to the part of us that survives by doing and pleasing. Yet beyond that collapse is an aliveness only found when we stop performing. And humor can also help. Alan Watts once joked that when the rug gets pulled out, you discover solid ground underneath. Like a forest after wildfire, the psyche regenerates in open space. New shoots appear that didn't grow in the dense shade of your old identity. On the other side of the dark night, you find a purpose sourced from within, not imposed by expectation. The emptiness becomes fullness, not because you filled it, but because you let it be empty long enough to reveal its richness. If you're wandering through this sacred collapse, I've recorded a free meditation for in-between stages. It's gentle and doesn't push you to hurry out of the void. The link is below. You can also check out my free masterclass right here, which offers you a trauma-informed map through the dark night of the soul. And as always, may the shadow wane and the stardust remain.